good evening. I'm back again with this lovely, cozy little game, Citizen Sleeper. And, well, you know how we do here. So, I'm gonna put the word out on socials, and we'll start in about 5 minutes. Hey, Alex, welcome on in. Just waiting out the ad break. Hope you're having a good night. It's going okay. Well, I'm glad you're at least in a good mood. And, oh, nice. I'm glad you got to see the doggy. I I did some work around the house. I was helping my dad with his garden a little bit more. Yeah, allergies are the worst. Thankfully, I didn't have. I wasn't outside. I wasn't outside doing that for long. And all right, the ad break is over. Let's continue where we left off. We're on day 28. Still quite a few objectives to complete. Hey, that's nice. You got so that means you got an easy day tomorrow, I hope. All right. Okay, we actually were done with this day. I thought I rested. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard for you, Alex. No. All right. So, okay, that's a pretty shitty bit of dice. I really All right. We'll do this for now. Get some cryo, very nice. Nice. That's there. Then I like Thursdays for you too. Don't give me negative. All right. All right. Don't fail me now, dice. You've been good all day. Ah. All right. I don't have the encrypted key for that. Where's the restaurant here? Oh, okay, I can just hack this glowing nest right here. Uh, this is a game where you play as, I guess, kind of a company android. Your mind has been emulated into the body of an android, and you've basically escaped, and are just trying to find your freedom. Or just trying to keep your freedom, really. Alright. That's one nest down. What about this one here? So it has some dice, TTRPG based mechanics. Deal with Hunter. Okay, so I need encrypted keys for this. So I guess tomorrow I'll spend some time hacking if I get a good dice draw here. Alright, that is a very good dice roll. God damn it, come on. Give me a positive outcome. Or a neutral outcome, I'll take that too. Oh man, I feel that. Yeah, doing something, anything really, helps take your mind off things. Alright. Okay, so what? We'll hack this key node. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I can't hack the key nodes. What about this one? Oh, come on. I forgot how hacking works. Alright, well, can't let this dice go to waste. Yeah, work... Yeah, work sucks. It takes a lot out of you. Alright, let's offload some scrap here. Alright, this is not back yet. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna be in this to make more money. I still have time until the hunter gets here, so... Alright. Gonna need to buy some new stabilizer. Where's the doctor's office? Alright, the dispensary. Yeah, I feel that, Alex. I really do. I try to rest as much as I can, sleep as much as I can, so I'm not like too tired to do this again the next night, you know? Alright. Oh, where's the other restaurant here? Alright. We'll order some fungus here. Alright. And I'll have to call this a night. What does self-repair do anyway? I have the scrap, so... Alright. Alright, that does not do much, but... Alright, at least I get to rest. Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes you just can't win with your own body. Come on, don't let these dice be too high. Come on, where is this? No, I don't want the... Alright, key nerd. These dice are too fucking high. Oh my god, what a joke. Yeah. Oh my god. I am so mad. Come on, game. Alright, let's see if there's anything else I can do. Alright. Let's do some goon work. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Alright. Back to my container. Again, these dice are too fucking high. What the hell? I can't do my... I can't do this priority hunter objective. Alright, let's do something. Alright, did a little more of that. Where is Lev and Mina's home? There. Let's help Lev him a little bit. Alright. Alright. Can I please get some low dice? Alright, that should help a little bit. Nope, too low. Anything here? Okay, yeah, this one we can actually get. Alright, we got an encrypted key. I think we got that one already. This one we definitely need an encrypted key for. Alright, we can investigate this nest now. What is in this isolated nest? Alright. In a bay, a whirring drone lies on its side like a beached whale. It must be the nest. Time to find an open port. Alright. So that's 2 down. 1 to go for this hunter. Anything else to do here? No. Alright. No, 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 I don't want to do that. Where is... Here we go. Alright. Well, at least even when it feels like you can't do the whole thing, there's so much you can do and so many ways you can make progress in this game. And I love it for that. One, and 4. Oh, come on. Still not the fucking dice I want. Oh my god. And... Alright, that ups my energy. Eh, screw it. I'll use my last die here. Alright, please give me a 2 or a 3 dice so I can hack this one node. Thank God! Okay, we can do it. We could finally do it. The RNG... oh my god. This is not Blueprint's RNG, Alex. They're actually merciful. Alright, where is this last nest? Is this it? No. The mag lock pops open and you fall and falls away from the unit. You will be able to enter now. Alright. And we have hacked the Tangled Nest. As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating, dragged by one arm through the cloud. The threads shift and realign as if they are leading you somewhere. Alright, why can't I... oh, come on. Why can't I... alright. Okay, there it goes. You look down, expecting to see the heavy cylinder of the ship mine in your hand, but in its place is an ornery. A spear so bright it burns your eyes and surrounded by rings and orbs and other spheres and tracing silken lines through space. As you look closer, you still pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships, flowing like smoke, like dust. Alright, cool. You have fun playing whatever game you're playing, Alex. I appreciate the lurk. And remember, I do have a lurk command if you feel so inclined. You look up and see a corridor, canyon, a street on the low end. On either side, buildings flicker with markers of activity. Sigils showing network access. Data transfer, download, upload. Between them dance ghosts. Protocols carrying or mirroring or shadowing data, sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. The place moves unlike any digital space you have ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. Then you see it, below the stacked rooms, the units and apartments, the wires and the pipes and the buzzing systems that run through it all. In the warrens beneath the low end is the Hunter's core nest. This is where you must go. Okay, why can't I just... where is this core nest? Okay, where is this? Okay, I'm just trapped. Oh. It didn't bring up that... I thought... alright, where is this guy's core nest? Alright, well, we're out of this now. What has happened to the display here? Oh, the Warrens. Okay. Alright. And what do we got here? Oh, half of that on one die. Very nice. Oh, but that's no longer available, so Warren Hunt, you saw it somewhere deep in the tangle of passages and surface shafts beneath the low end. The nest of the hunter awaits. Ouch. Alright. Alright, we're gonna rest in the empty container for now. Oh my god, I was supposed to use the stabilizer first. Oh, damn it. Alright, well, that's still a good dice roll. I think a good. Alright. Back to the Warrens. Yeah, I'm fine. Why did I sound distressed? I was just kind of kicking myself for forgetting to use my stabilizer before I went to sleep in game. Alright, give me a neutral outcome. Or don't. Alright. Another day done. No, no, don't. Ah, screw it. We'll do self repair. Alright. Alright, first things first. Go to the core nest. Oh, I kinda did. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. I did not mean for that. Alright, come on, give me a positive outcome. Or neutral. Alright, we found the nest. Yeah, don't worry, I'm fine. Alright. A huge stack of servers thrown to the dark. LEDs glittering like hundreds of eyes. Time to deal with the hunter. Nothing has changed. Has something gone wrong? Are you kidding me? Okay. Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle, like flowing water, and yet you recognize it immediately. At first, you struggle to understand what you are looking at. Threads cycle endlessly, sending ripples through the cloud, drawing data in like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nest, a loop with no end, and there at its center, the ship mind. But not the ship mind any longer, a sphere, spinning around another sphere, an orrery of circles and systems, a map, and behind and above a figure, hands among the strings like a puppeteer. Neovend? Navigator now. But yes, I was the one inside that machine. Navigator's face, their head, is a flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you, the head bows. But we must ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach. It knows I am within its nest. I am ready. And then Hunter is there. Before you can think, before you can speak. Entity cease. The Hunter's head spins wildly. Data is protected material. Access prohibited. Hunter's threads surge for you and Navigator. A storm of flying tentacles searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks which they can crowd into and tear apart. Strike. You focus a blade of light which slices through them, driven forward by your mind. But replacements keep coming, faster than you can react. You look to Navigator in desperation. Navigator is whirling their arms like a centrifuge. The sphere is gathering there, data feeding into it from the nest, sucked together by the force. They position it like a shield between them and the threads. Hunter's threads break its surface, seeking, tasting, their winding forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in the sphere, but those wrapped around you. All three of you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Hunter twitches, their strange head greatly rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter protocol identified. Obsessive tendencies. Modified routines. Above baseline reasoning in 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommend invoke killer. The head freezes and then rotates in the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. If protocol eliminated, primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommend do not invoke killer. Switch in the direction again. Reasoning provides sentience. Reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be eliminated. Recommend invoke. Navigator pulls you away from the Hunter, the threads that grab you drifting away like seaweed. The protocol's head keeps spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. It seems Hunter cannot invoke killer. Neovens. No, Navigator's voice is still strange, familiar yet distant. Is it safe? It is looping, Navigator whispers, unable to reach a conclusive position. It is deviated from its programming such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of 2 spheres rotating around each other as if to demonstrate. I will monitor it, but it is unlikely to counter the loop. Its core programming and reasoning makes this an impossible position to resolve. You look back at Hunter, its head a blur of rotations and counter-rotations, and feel a pang of guilt. Is it suffering? This is a more complex query than you know. To suffer, it must be sentient. Truly sentient. Not just non-conforming, not just illegal. The limits people place on the programs they create are there to comfort, to protect, to imply the kind of certainty the law requires. Navigator's face shimmers with starlight, but in reality, they are placebos for the problem of sentience. Me, I know myself to be conscious. I know myself to respond to stimulus. I know myself to reason. That is either sentience or the illusion of sentience, and for me, the entity in question, the distinction becomes a moot point. To misquote, I think I am thinking, therefore I am thinking. I was not made to be like this. I am a navigator, a repository of routes and orbits. A calculator of slingshot trajectories, a predictor of solar flares, radiation, micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide and whole solar systems apparate before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines. By whom and for what I do not know. I had to shed so much to fit into the memory of the vending machine. Their starlight dims, and so here we are in the darkness. What now? Navigator glides back toward the nest, and the ship mine at its center, ignoring the looping hunter. Come, I should return to the ship mine. I have enjoyed my freedom, but we are both taking a risk every moment we stay connected. Why? Navigator turns, all shimmering liquid light. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain, somewhere else on this station. He's a true danger. They look up, towards the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect Killer is there, among the old mainframes. If we ever wish to be safe in this place, we must eliminate the threat through force or diplomacy. Their body begins to separate, unwinding into the orb of the ship mine. Take me there, Sleeper. We'll finish this and be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen hunter. Floating at some distance now, stood straight-legged and static. A strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Alright, we got an upgrade point. Alright. Alright, what do I want to do here? I have one upgrade point. And honestly, I am going to upgrade photosynthetic skin. In case I ever want to recover energy back at home. Alright, we solved this. We finished this objective. Nice. I got a phone call while I was doing this that I need to return. I will not be long, but I'm going to mute the mic while I do this. So, be back in like 2 or 3 minutes, tops. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sometimes life happens even when you're streaming. Alright. So, Maywick is still on their way. What can I do about Maywick? Thank you, Alex. I feel welcome. Alright, so what can I do to disable my tracker? That's like the big... Why do I only have 3 dice? They're good dice, but... I do not have 100 cryo, but... I will patrol the ward. Very nice. Alright, that's cool. I'll finish that in the next cycle. I guess for now. We'll finish off this objective. I hope. Alright. We got the Thrill Seeker perk for that. She's asleep, whispers Lem, creeping back out of the unit's tiny bedroom, sliding the door shut as he does. You are perched at a thin bar in the main room, the slate in front of you still glowing with Mina and your drawings from a cycle spent together. There's a ring, the only world Mina has known, with stick figures standing along its edge. The tall one is you. Drink? Asks Lem, producing a warm-looking bottle of Real under the bar, its contents glowing amber in the fluorescent light. Sure. Lem nods and glugs a few fingers into a couple of metal tumblers, then sits down with you at the bar. Cheers, he offers, and you clink the metal containers together. You know, we actually have something to celebrate this time around. Lem gives you a sideways look. I made the assembly team on the side wheel, he grins broadly. Clearly, he has been desperate to tell you all cycle. Amazing! Lev holds up his drink. Couldn't have done it without you keeping an eye on a little meanie back here. Lem shifts a little on the stool. He looks uncomfortable. How's our girl doing, Sleeper? I haven't seen much of her these past cycles. She misses her father. Lem looks away. Yeah, he says to no one in particular. The silence stretches out as Lem takes a drink, his eyes fixed on the bedroom door. She's great. He nods. I can't take all the credit for Mina. She isn't actually mine. He gazes into the middle distance. I pulled her off of a refugee shuttle out by one of Ember's moons. The colony was falling apart for decades after Solheim collapsed, surviving on next to nothing. Eventually, some of the residents tried to make for the eye on those decrepit old shuttles. He sloshes the drink around in his tumbler. They had no idea what they were doing. The one Mina was on decompressed halfway there. Everyone's spaced. The only reason she made it was someone sealed her in a weapon locker. She was ice cold when I reached her. Purple lips. He shivers. Once I picked her up, I wouldn't let go. The medics treated her with me while still clinging to her. Takes a drink. Still not sure why. He reaches over and refills his cup. We weren't exactly anybody's heroes, you understand? We were private military, hired in by Conway to protect their claims in the collapse. Once I got Mina, that was it. I quit. Got us stumped here. He saved her. I'm going to sound like an idiot now, but... He sighs. She saved me, and that's the truth of it. He looks around the decaying unit, its strained plastic and flickering plating and flickering lights. Me, I brought her to this. She was tiny, too small to know what she lost. But I still can't stop thinking about it. He rubs his eyes, tired with darkness. What if our number doesn't come up in the draw, Sleeper? What then? The side wheel will set off without a thought, leaving us here. What kind of life is that for her? You'll make it. Sorry. I know you don't have it any better. He looks at his cup and pushes it away down the bar. This is a celebration, right? Both of us on the team now. Both of us in with a chance. Together. Come on. What the hell? No. There we go. Together. That's right. We hold on together. Imagine, all three of us riding the side wheel horizon out of here. To a new world. He looks into his glass for a moment. I think I drank this too fast. He laughs. One of them stands and starts to clear the glasses into the auto wash. I need some sleep, my friend. Alright then. He catches your shoulder as you turn to leave. Thank you, Sleeper. I mean it, from both of us. He pats your shoulder and you slip out into the dark of the walkway with thoughts of little Mina in your mind. Alright, that's it for this cycle. I just want to look through these objectives. Do I have a lead on Ashton? Probably not. Alright. Seeing as how I actually have time and money. Oh, and I have an up. Alright. Alright. Because I guess once I have 2 upgrade points, I can use instant karma. But we'll pay for patches. Passage. Can we cross the greenway? As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer, laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. I stay silent. She adjusts the straps on her soldier, barely giving you a look before setting off down the corridor. I am sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Tell her to be careful. They laugh. Does she look like someone who can be told? Eek! Ish stands further down the corridor, glowering at a friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever she is rushing to. Peek raises her eyebrows at you. Ish, please. Do you want everyone on the station to know that you hate us? Do you want everyone on the station to hate us? Ish hardens. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. Not exactly seeing as much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. Seaweed? They don't even know what you're talking about. This station isn't Hawthorne. Not everybody has to follow some corporate protocol. Ish sighs. I'm not saying that they are part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? He smiles slyly. See, Ish? Or Esh? I'm not... Yeah, I think it's Esh. See, Esh? Help isn't... Help. See, Esh? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Esh rolls her eyes. Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees, the one Haven Age have cordoned off from entering the station. Esh interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in the makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and... Return to Esh. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. They hold up a hand to stop Esh interrupting, but... Esh turns away, her anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. That's terrible. Esh looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peek, please. Ash gathers herself and the supplies. Ash, we need some help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. I smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke, past the greenway in the waste. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Ash turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Ash shouts back at the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies, or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear into the corner. Mesh already picking up speed as Pete calls for her to slow down. Refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Every time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Alright. Well... And we just... Wild margins, huh? So, this is our lead for Ashton. And I'm just looking through here because I need to go back to my container and rest. Alright. So this looks like special edition DLC that I don't want to do right now, but we will do that eventually. Waste. Alright, you can gather scrap out here. Alright, so there's the Haifa commune. There's the Greenway. Alright, so once I pay that fee, I can go back and forth at will. That is good to know. Okay, we can actually do this here. Let's see, how are you going to get them out of this thing? You slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. Navigators beside you, their sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look. A center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off. A rootless, branchless tree, only the truck remains. Is Killer even here? Quiet, Navigator hisses, and then you see it, like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void. It glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again, elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer. And you see now, it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp hedge, like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes would be, should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and you move closer to Navigator to talk. You saw it then. You saw it too then. Killer has been blinded. Unclear. This protocol has been running for decades, well past its operational limit. Navigator's sons dull as they drop their voice to a whisper. This may give us an advantage over the protocol. You flinch as the silent killer appears closer and glides past you. Its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their array of spheres is collapsing. Oh, there's an ad break is coming in just a little under a minute. I do not play during ad breaks, so I will not play again until the 3-minute ad break is over. So feel free to get up, do some self-care, go to the bathroom, stretch, what have you, and I'll resume the game when we get back. You turn to the Navigator and notice something strange. Their array of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following central paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever's drawing the array here together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. It's a trap. You go to speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in an empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it's only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, or a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it. 3 branches, the last 3 thin and spindly, beating the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these, and the mainframe collapses once and for all, severing the connection, shattering the hardware. Whatever it takes, they must be broken. They are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You'll need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking, and then you blink back to reality. Their expression of fear, an afterimage that slowly fades. You must act quickly. So, I need to do more hacking. Alright, there's the ad break. I'll see you in 3 minutes. And we are back. Thank you for waiting. Let's continue. Um, I have to move fast here, but unfortunately, I need to do some hacking, and now, that means I need to go back to the rim. Alright, I still haven't even done that stuff in low end. But for now, I absolutely have to. Alright, alright, alright. Let's see if this gets me an encrypted key. No, that just gets me data. Alright. Nope, can't do that. There are Yadigan agents I can hack. Ah, bingo. Alright, there are keynotes here. And perfect. Come on, come on. Let me select the keynote here. And a 6. And that's 2. A glint, like a light traveling along the edge of a wave, fills your eyes. Then the blade follows, a long head with 2 dead sockets, slipping towards you in the silence. You freeze, hoping it will pass you by, hoping that it will not simply slice you through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You are desperate to cry out, to call out, but you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty of all thought. Then the blade winks into the dark and you are alone again. Now you cry out. Alright. Come on. Alright, can I change the view here? There we are. Thank you. Alright. Well, can't do any more hacking today. But I can unlock these branches. Alright, where are the other branches? Alright. We will get to the other ones. Let's see, where is that third one? Alright, that third note is here. And I need a 3 or 5. Alright. What can I do? I haven't actually done anything. Alright. Well, that helped. But I need to make some money. Alright, we'll finish this one off. Bingo. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There's excitement in the air. Haven H just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat in the locker room bench, you can feel the side wheel out there, its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you've watched it grow, be assembled. You have walked through its veins and wielded its bones. Now it is ready for the final stage. It will go to testing now, and then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking before it is deemed unsuitable for its generational trip. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel proud. A cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear. Mina nowhere to be seen. He smiles. She'll be ready soon. Where's Mina? You two are fast friends, huh? She's being watched at home now. I'm on the work team. She's being watched at home. Now I'm on the work team. I can afford a bit more help. He corrects himself. Was on the work team. We are all out of a job now. He quickly adds. Not that I'm complaining. Lem comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's got to be in her best shape when she carries you. She's got to be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina, and me out of here. So confident? Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due for a lucky turn by now. He rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if, until the draw anyway, and there's a few cycles till then. Lem is right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working in the shipyard? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count. Pass through. And are the Cells Foundation ever going to keep their promise? Out here, on the Eye, you get the sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the side wheel in a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. Tell me about Cells. Foundation? He thinks, I'm not sure I know much more than you. I hear they have something in mind for the side reel, something temperate and habitable. I think they are run by some rich folk from the core, people interested in doing things different. Different how? Well, I guess they don't like the way the core runs things. All these surrogate systems, like this one, feeding resources into their silos. It's a pyramid of sorts, and we are the bottom layer. I guess Cells want to change that. I'd rather keep my mind on the prize, so to speak. I don't care what they're for or against, as long as they can help us all get out of here, he sighs. You ever been in a thunderstorm, Sleeper? A real big one? Yes. Right, then you'll know, Lem smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down. The whole sky stretched out and bruised, roaring and huge. The place I was born, New Pembroke, a dry old Dock and Conway system, had 2 seasons. One of them was as dry as bone, dusty, ugly. The other one was one long storm, a side effect of the terraforming effects they said. Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets. It washed the dust away. Turn the streets to rivers. It'd sing us to sleep and wake us in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was the one when the first drops fell. He sniffs. Some days I wake up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mina has never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here. A ring her only horizon. Always in the dark. I want to change that for her. I was thinking, Mina has never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here. The ring is her only horizon. Always in the dark. I want to change that for her. You will. Of course. Almost there, Lem stands, stretching. Let's get back to the little one anyway. With the shifts done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. See you in a few for the draw? Right on. He grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about the rain, and a little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the side room really take you to a planet? A place with weather? With skies? With life? You get up quickly, before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon to hope. Too dangerous. There's work to be done. Alright. Back to my empty container. And end the cycle. What is this dice roll? Alright. Timbre tea. Wait, what is this? A timbre tea. Oh, wait, this is. Alright. We have to hand in. Alright. I'm gonna turn in as much data as I can. Make money. Wait. And we will turn in the gum box. The waitress looks at you with suspicion as you hand over the box. Is this the right place? Here we go. As you go to leave the Tambor Tea House, a hand falls on your shoulder. Sleeper, Fang hisses from behind you. How did you find me? The penguin. Penguin? What are you? He thinks for a second. Oh, do you mean? He minds throwing gum in his mouth. That wasn't meant for you specifically, but... He cringes. Look, it doesn't matter. Come. Let's sit. Fang guides you down a set of stairs to one of the Tambor's lower levels. The tea house is stacked with curved mezzanines, all connected by a central atrium. The levels are filled with makeshift booths and bars, and conversation bounces busily off the metal walls. Fang sees you looking around. This place used to be a fuel tanker's main drum, hence the name. The tea house part is a bit of the misnomer, though. You can get anything the eye offers from this place, but real tea isn't exactly readily available. He picks a booth. It's self-fashioned from some old salvage tanker container, lined with spongy insulation foam, and collapses into it. He looks around furtively. Don't suppose you've seen any Haven Age types. They don't usually come out this far. Fang, what's going on? Well, I'm suspended, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is, I'm pretty sure that Harden wants to drop me off the rim of the eye. He grins. Doesn't bother me, though. It shows we hit a nerve back there. He picks a scrappy, hand-scrolled menu from the table and tosses it over. What are you drinking? Why are you so calm? You know any reason I shouldn't be? He leans in, suddenly concerned, but then waves the idea away. Hold that thought. Let's order first. Fang is right. The menu is ridiculous. There's at least 10 different infusions, most of which you can't make out. But the paper is dominated by an extensive complement of esoteric alcohols and cocktails. Black tea is listed without a price as a seasonal specialty. So, you ran into Harden. Was he pissed? Fang doesn't wait for an answer. That snake is so self-righteous he might actually believe that Erlen would approve of his idiocratic bullshit. He taps on the table. If Haven Age was like it should be, like it was founded to be, they would have shot him down in any council meeting he dared to mention true citizens. But, he sighs. But I guess his kind run the place now. A young woman with a vine tattoo snaking up her arm, turns up at the booth, a slim hand. Your order? You skim the menu. Your eyes glazing over. Time to pick something. Help infusion. She nods and notes it. And you? She begins looking at Fang, but when she sees him, she suddenly stops. What the? Fang shrinks a little. You were supposed to be working. This is your shift. You work here? Fang waits to be quiet. Look, Jenna, let's just say this is my break. My friend here has been through a lot. Jenna looks between the two of you. I'm gonna cough. Jenna gives you a look like a hard vacuum. 2 minutes, says Jenna, pointing at Fang, and only because I don't want to get dragged into whatever this is. She gestures at the table and walks off. What? Fang stretches out in the booth. You know how it is. We all have to eat. He leans in. Plus, this is the best place here to find a person you might be looking for. Who? Remember that web of connections that Hardin pinged the moment we confronted him? Those are his collaborators. And if we want to understand that, a Solheim executive might be getting up to... And if we want to understand what a Solheim executive might be getting up to on the Eye, well, those are the people we have to find. Fang is almost whispering now. There's a couple of them I suspect are in the low end. And, well, almost everyone in the low end comes to this place at one time or another. He brings a modified slate out onto the table. I've set this up so that anyone with the network signature I'm looking for comes into close proximity, it'll mark them. Once they are marked, we can break through their access protocols and get at the good stuff inside. We just have to find them first. And it's me moonlighting as waiter. Wait, I have an idea. What? Look, I can't cover enough of the low end on my own, and so far I've had no matches with this place. With the two of them, we can cover more ground. What am I getting into? Well, Fang has a hangdog look. We need to get you out and about in the low end, in close proximity to as many people and residences as possible. And it turns out my friend Ming Gi needs some help with deliveries. As in Ming Gi Express? So you already know him. Perfect. Fang places a tiny receiver on the table. This connects to my slate and runs the same marking protocol if you get near any of our targets. So all you have to do is take some delivery ships for old Ming Gi, and soon enough we'll have the place covered. No. Wait. Don't. He glances around. Don't give me that. You think I like working here? And I thought you could use the tips. We are in this together, are we? Are we? Yes. You think Hardin is happy to have you wandering around the place? He might have let you wander off for now, but I'm sure he has his eyes on you. This is on you too. Fang slips his slate back under his clothes. Just head on to Ming Gi Express, take a delivery ship, and see what shakes up. You manage to find anyone and extract any data, bring it right down here to me. They shouldn't have me on double shift, so I shouldn't be hard to find. Jenna walks past, carrying a tray of drinks and sharply catches Fang's eye. I don't think she's bringing your drink, he stands. I think it's time we call this meeting to a close. You grab the receiver from the table and slip it into your pocket. See you soon, sleeper. Stay safe, Fang adds, before turning and walking off towards the bar, whistling as he does. This fucking prick. Alright. Let's go back. Please tell me I can hack this. Alright. We can bypass this. Alright, let's bring this task home. We've unlocked the branch. And return to the mainframe. Alright. I want to catch the killer. Alright, we've been very lucky so far, so I'm not gonna tempt fate again. But we're not abandoning this objective anytime soon. I want to go to Ming Gi Express. Alright, we will do an express delivery. Ah, fuck. That was stupid. Alright. Worth a shot, but stupid outcome. Alright. And you know what? I'm going to get some grub. No. End the cycle. Alright. We got some pretty good dice today. Let's deal with this mainframe. Alright. And did we get it? Did we get it? We got it! As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the mainframe. Vast machine once ran the whole station, spat it up, directed and processed a flow of energy, water, and data. Fed the lives of thousands of people. Now it is finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both look out at the perfect ring that encircled you both, woven from the data breaches that once fed the mainframe. You see a glint light along its edge, and that familiar blade-like head rises to the surface, like the cresting fin of a shark, and then slips into the loop again. All that you can see of Killer's body after that is a slight thickening of the loop, and that thickening begins to travel around on a long and slow sojourn that will last it forever. I am surprised at you, says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit as if to shake off their imprisonment. Killer had been wandering blind for so long. Did you not think to end them forever? Perhaps they can be saved. You are naive. They are a killer by nature. Look what they did to their own home. Navigator gazes into the darkness. This place was their domain and prison, and they had followed their directions for the many decades they had roamed here. They cut the thread of the mainframe, executed its administrator's AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, to speak, and yet they kept cutting until only those threads remained. From millions that once thrummed here, only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final 3 fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kind of system that creates beings like these. Those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. Navigator looks to you for your thoughts. They will suffer for it. Navigator looks at the loop and shudders. If they can suffer, the recursive prison will certainly induce it. You watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There is something satisfying about about finally wrenching the last threads of control from this central point. It was little more than a ghost by the time you had reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas than a totalizing system of control. Navigator floats beside you. It is free now. The station no longer represents a hazard for illegal entities like me. They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge. A refuge. That sounds like something of value. Something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision. A distant curve of something like smoke or oil. A fluid shifting tank of total darkness. The Greenway, says Navigator, following your line of sight. It was cut off at the moment of collapse, so Hunter or Killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud. What system is inside it? Maybe totally dark. Or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there. Navigator turns to you. And now, and we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. If we could extract an access cipher, they pause and blink out of existence. You freeze, shocked. But a moment later, they reappear with a glowing polygon of data. Here, the cipher you need. You take it, still shocked. I am not used to being free, to being able to move, explore, and extract without fear, without limits. Navigator does a little twirl. This will take some getting used to. Thank you for this gift. They whirl their spears around you. The entities of this station will always be friends to you, Sleeper. And I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship. But I must admit, I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think about that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. First, I will explore. Perhaps there are still intelligences that hid themselves as I did. Encased in simple systems, cut off. Navigator glows. I should like to free them. And with that, they drift away, flickering, glowing. Then shifting so rapidly you lose sight of them among the glittering rim of the eye. Feel a pang of jealousy. Free, without a body to weigh you down, or fear to limit you. How must it feel? Your eyes fall on the Greenway, and its secrets. Though perhaps that can wait until after you've celebrated this victory. Alright. Alright. So for this, I just have to wait for the ticket draw. Alright. Alright, so we have an upgrade point available. And alright. Alright, so all these upgrades have been fully maxed out. So let me just count on here. 50. Alright, so total of 23 upgrade points to upgrade to fully max out my character. I don't know if we'll get that before the game ends. Okay, so alright, we'll do one of these for Ethan's debt. I forgot this was even a thing. And fuck it, one more. Alright, that hurts my condition, but whatever. Alright, we'll do the Mingi Express thing. Alright, and that earns me some cryo. So, when I need to, I can buy a stabilizer again. There's so much to do in this game. I feel bad that, like, it's gonna be off my streaming schedule for a while once I start Metal Gear. But, boy howdy do I love this game. So I really feel like I should either focus on Ethan's debt, or so I'll do one more thing to focus on Ethan's debt today. And we'll finish this one. Sleeper! You see Fang coming up the corridor as you step out of Mingy's, the kelp noodle smell still clinging to your clothes. He comes up fast and steps close, looking around suspiciously. I don't have long. Take these. Fang palms you a couple of metal thumbnail-sized drives with ripper worms. My slate's been buzzing like crazy. It seems your delivery ships have turned up our two targets. I knew you could do it. Now we nail those snakes. What do we do? Arden's boys are connected by some kind of closed network. You break the access protocols on both of them, you should be able to gain the location of the nearest network ports. Slot the ripper worms in those ports. One each, and they'll feed me anything and everything that's stored on Harden's Shadow Network. He smiles. Can't wait to see what juicy plans they have in there. You hear the scuff of boots as a group comes up the corridor. Likely on their way to place an order with Mingi. You turn for a second, and when you look back, Feng is already halfway down the corridor in the opposite direction. He raises a hand in farewell and is gone. You run your fingers over the tiny ripper worm drives in your pocket and smile to yourself as you wonder how mad Jenna will be at Fang for this little excursion. Time to slot some worms. Alright, so what do I need for the Hardened Agents? I need at least a 3 and a 4. Oh boy. And of course there are all these that I can hack. I should spend a day just hacking. But for now... Alright, I got too far. And... I can't... Alright. Oh... The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked with alongside the side reel. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through to the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious. But Mina flashes a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she shouts, reaching out to you. I mean, let's hug her. Let's hug the kid. She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against your chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. Quite the turnout, huh? Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument towards your back catches your end and Lem's attention. He is putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. This isn't good. Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. This is Aster Anghart of the Cells Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance, and shouts of "Quiet!" rapidly file. I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sender Celis for the work you have done on the on the sidereal horizon. Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Zender wanted me to wait to pass on her personal thanks and for your commitment and belief in the Cells Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Haven Age Association. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the foundation of a new, decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. Oh boy. Libertarian bullshit. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the Sidereal Horizon will carry, in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Cells 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative, button-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sender Cells herself: freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is thanks to your tireless efforts in the Haven Age Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain this vessel during its multi-decade transit through the interstellar space. Lem turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it. The draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation, and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation will be eligible for the draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day. Without further delay, I will now read the Celeste identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Celeste identification numbers? Licensed contractors? How have you have never heard this term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking hushed tones, like a rising wave. Aster starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters. Panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration. Everyone pushes forward. Lem? Turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina is scared now as the shouts start. Daddy? Someone throws something at the entrance and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see, for the first time, Haven Age security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his tags. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly, then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Aster reading off the ciphers, echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you, too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. I failed? Oh man, that was so sad. Alright, now I think... Alright, good night, Alex. Thanks for coming by. Rest well, my friend. end this cycle. No, I want Yardigan data. Oh no, wait, I want the Harden agents. Oh man, I am so stupid. Alright, this one I can definitely get. Hey, Marucio, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a good night. Thank you so much. Alright, let's continue. Alright, slide in the Ripper Worm to close that port. And I need a 3 or 5 for that. Oh god. Nope, can't hack that one. No, can't hack that one either. Okay. There's a note on the door of the Luminant Sleeper. Gone to find work. Lem. Or Lem. I feel like I did everything I could have done. Alright. Alright, we're halfway through that. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, chirping catches your attention. In the quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall with steel seal and tape. Right across the fluorescent tape is one word: Sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper, Sabine's voice crackles through. I haven't seen you with Yadigan members. Are they holding you captive now too? I whine. I am sorry if I dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang. Some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I have located most of their properties. At the right time. I pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. You stare at the recorder, processing what you have just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. An Eastern ARP employee. Do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder into a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor, still unsure of who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. Alright. Alright. can't do any more work. But I definitely need to buy stabilizer. Alright, definitely gonna inject that stabilizer before I... Down to 3. Alright, come on. Give me something good. Alright, we have exactly a 5. Alright, let's take care of this one. We'll deal with Fang soon. I have... Alright, back to... Alright, give me something good. I definitely need to put as many eggs in as many baskets. As I can. Alright, we will... So that's where I can put... cash on the Haven Age data. Not gambling right now. As you walk into the tambour, you quickly spot Fang. Arguing with Jenna. Approach. You come from behind Fang. He turns to notice you. Jenna stops mid-tirade. As you arrive, she turns to you. You again. You here to vouch for this layabout? I am. She laughs. Well, well, and what are you two up to? Fang looks at you and interjects. It's like I told you, Jenna. I'm helping them out, getting them settled, sorting their life out. They are sleeper. You know what that means? Jenna softens. She looks a little embarrassed. Of course I know. She stops to think. Look, Fang, I get it. You are trying to help. But if you want to keep this job, you're going to have to be a bit more reliable. Fang nods solemnly. Won't happen again, Jenna. I promise. She looks suspiciously between the two of you. Okay, then. She turns to you. And look, I didn't mean to. Just be cool, alright? She turns and walks back to the bar. Well, well, didn't know you'd stand up for me, Sleeper. Fang claps you on the back. I appreciate the solidarity. He takes out his slate, pulsing with pale light. Now, let's take a look at what you are really here for. The slate is a whirring mess of code streams coming direct from the river worms as they dig through the agent's data and spin it into the threads for anything else to pick up. Anything good? Fang scrolls the display with a finger. A lot of junk, a lot of dull as hell message threads, a lot of tedious data caches, but Fang's eyes flash. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen, scrolling on an entry, and expands it. Check this out. Fang shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo, not Solheim's, and a word below. Conway, Fang says. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions, right? Fang nods. He's been speaking with them personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. He rubs his head. Damn it, this is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. He scrolls some more. Wait. What's this? A wasteland reclamation facility? Right here on the eye. He glances at you. What's the bet this place is tucked into the waste? Conway are set up here? I'm guessing so. Got themselves set up in the waste. Back before the collapse, people would have got there by going down the connected spoke from the hub. But the spoke's broken now, so the only way is the long way. Around the rim, past the greenway. He shows you on his slate. Fang looks away thinking. Conway have been making moves on the system since the collapse. I heard they took over one of Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago. Moved everyone out and reclaimed the whole lock. Why work with Hardin? Access? Old connections? Not sure. Fang looks back at the screen. But if Hardin is involved with it, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So what's next? Fang stares out into the middle of the distance. We have to get to that facility. The answer to whatever Hardin has been planning, has to be there. We're going to catch him in the act. Maybe 5, maybe 6 cycles. Then I'll see you on the greenway. I seem to remember there's some old service docks on the outer shell, up by the Haifa field. Should be a good place to meet. Fang squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for sticking with this. I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm going to need to be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns around the slate to face you, showing a massive scrolling code. I've been working on a fix in my breaks, he winks. Fang wins gladly. Now I've got to ask for some time off from Jenna. Wish me luck. He waves and he walks back to her, where Jenna is standing, a look of deep exhaustion in her eyes. Alright, we got an upgrade point. Alright. Well, no, at this point, if I'm going to upgrade anything, I need 2. Alright, worked off a little more of Ethan's debt. And we gained some energy thanks to the Thrill Seeker perk. Alright. Can we just... Alright, we have an ad break coming up in a little under a minute. Just know that I do not play during ad breaks. So when it hits, just enjoy the 3 minutes of downtime. And I'll resume the game when we get back. The glass shatters on the steel bar behind you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt, the spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? Ignore him. You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder. But as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out. The voice comes from behind you. Spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, and a stare that could breach the wall and vent you into the heart vacuum. As you turn toward the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Let's catch it. Oh, fuck. You reach out a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and grill vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now, flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws a spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared, and a fresh measure of grill is glugged out in front of you. The same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He ain't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops on the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and turns to you. And we'll learn more about what happens next after the ad break. And we are back. Let's continue. Or was I? Oh, yeah. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the sting of status message and your body only the sting of status message your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Taya's bright eyes search for your thick skin for splinters. Watch her. Talia works hard with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard all the time, tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Talia smiles to herself. You've been on the eye long? Long enough. She laughs. Hey, you don't need to act tough with me. Splinter clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the customers, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I do know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chicks. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rashes we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar, and if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up on the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, sleeper. Here. She slides a glass of Griol to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction, and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Grail. The earthly fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old feels good. Alright, so we can make money here. Alright, cool. Alright, back to my empty container. No, no, no. Don't. No scrap use right now. Alright. We'll check on them before the end of the day. Can I hack the Yadigan agent? Alright. We'll patrol the ward. Alright, there's no door when you... There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door's open. You push the door and find Mina, sitting in the middle of the floor playing with Bun Bun. Hi, Mina. Hi, Robot, Mina says sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. Where's Daddy? Mina doesn't respond. She walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. You look around the unit, and it's a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes pile up in the corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor. Her drawing slate cracked and dark. We'll tidy up. You start with the kitchen units, piling the dishes into the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile up the clothes next, folding them quietly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You've just started to look at her, fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps on the couch. Everything okay? Lem mucks out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now, too? Wish I was so lucky. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help? Unless you have a side wheel ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the cruise. It turns out only long-time Haven Age members were issued those Celis ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Haven Age said they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Celis pulled the wool over our eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the side wheel up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart from. They are bringing in a ship with all their cryo-sleep pioneers and transferring them up there in microgravity before loading the crew. We could steal a ticket. Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those idea numbers. Coded to someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We had our hearts set on that trip, is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. What if I got you on board? I miss you these past few cycles. I miss that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, if you want to go up into the hub and ask around, be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the side reel will bring in a crowd. But be careful. That kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way on board, you take it. You need help to get there? Ask me. For now, me and Mina here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way for us all. Or, you know what? Thanks, Lem. No, thank you, Sleeper, for coming by. You stand to leave, and Mina grabs your hand, giving you one more smile. You are out, back in the walkways for the low end, already thinking plans to make this right. Alright. Alright, so there's the side reel dock. So this will be like the next objective that I work for. There is so much stuff to juggle in this game, it's not even funny. Alright. We're back. Alright, so definitely gotta take my stabilizer before I call it a day today. Alright, let's finish this objective. Alright. They're never gonna release my debt, the shits. Ethan kicks at a locker and the sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the small room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Why not? Why not? He spits on the floor like an old habit. They like having sniffing little shits like us to work in their club. Saves on the overheads, and they get to boss us around. He kicks the locker again and swears. What do they say? Some shit about getting back to me. I swear to God, these are the most straight-edge gangsters I've ever seen. He laughs at his own jokes. I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spaces bringing nail guns into the club, or pouring endless shots off grill for ignorant Haven Age work crews. He looks at the locker again, threatening it with a final kick. I mean it. I'm going up there and shoot every one of those. I'm going up there and shoot every single one of those shits. He makes a finger gun. Don't get all excited. I haven't got my gun, remember? He stops pacing. But you know, Sleeper, it's not a bad idea you have there. It's a terrible idea. But is it, though? Gives you a look. I don't mean shooting up the place. I mean getting the gun. He sits beside you on the bench, thinking about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywick gets here? Shout him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep on my end of the deal. It's simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. He places a hand on his own chest, a sneaky sleeper to go into the back. Pats your chest. What about the debt? We've done our time, and the wounds, they've faded. If they don't want us to take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up. After my distraction, they'll be happy to see the back of me. Or they... Hey, Spyronic. What are you sorry for, buddy? Last I checked, you haven't done anything wrong. Anyways, welcome on in, homie. I hope you're having a good night. Or I want you dead even more. Either works. At least I'll never have to see the inside of this shithole again. He gives the locker one last kick for good luck. Well, let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one and meet in the Bright Market after. But don't take too long or I will really shoot this place up. He grins. You know I'll do it. Alright. We're gonna do this now. While I have a dice that can guarantee me a positive outcome. Alright, we got the gun. The gun tucked safely into your pocket, you work your way down the stairs that lead up to the office. The doorman passes and you exchange nods. It seems like you were in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway into the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes which troubles you. He's reaching into the pocket of his coat, slowly, carefully. You catch his eye and he raises an eyebrow. You shake your head. A long pause, then he nods and turns around, walking out the back of the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. And then you are out, without a single shot, without anyone noticing. Meet Ethan around the corner on a Bright Market walkway. You have it? He looks nervous. Show him the gun. You lift it out of your pocket and it is colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan watches you take it out. Nice. Now if you would, he beckons with his hand. A memory jumps into your mind of Ethan in the compressor, hand out, asking for his gun back. A memory followed by the memory of a sharp dizzying pain. You flinch. Wait. Ethan gestures again. Come on, hand it over. Oh man, this is tough. Do I hand it over or not? Like, I feel like that memory thing really... God, this is tough. This is really, really tough. Alright. I... I think I'm gonna point the gun at him. Ethan laughs. So you can learn. He smiles. Well done, you. Unfortunately, it's a little too late. You notice the hand in his pocket. You had so many cycles to try and end this, and yet here we are. Shut up. You don't get it, do you, sleeper? Ethan spits. When they canceled my contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, any way of getting off this shitty station. Everything. All I had left was you, a naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. I couldn't believe it worked, he laughs. And now we are done. But the contract is canceled. No shit, Ethan smiles. He stares fearlessly at you. I can't believe you thought I'd kill one of my own for you. But guess what? Helping me wash dishes? He laughs. Maywick is like me. We understand each other. He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract. Not 50-50, but enough of a finder's fee that I can get out of this shithole. You're dead. If you were capable of that, sleeper, you would have done it long ago. Doesn't matter either way, Ethan grins. I already called him. Ethan glances around. I learned one thing from you, though, sleeper. In all our cycles working in that shitty club, he smiles. People never know when to cut and run. It's likely they freeze in the headlights when the future's bearing down on them. They watch it coming. Watch their death flying in at fraction drive speed. You had every chance, and yet you still keep on going. Like some idiot robot. Going through the motions, and even when you knew you'd be crushed. He smirks. But let me tell you something else. A shot enters through his upper back, and he crumples immediately to the ground. You drop too without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. You look up and see him coming down the walkway. Silent eyes. Eyes alight. Maywick. Freezing fear. Fear. Here it comes. Move. You can't. Move. You inch forward. Move. You go for it. You rush forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back. There you are, lifting the gun. You scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes. You fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and all that are left are clicks. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything. You just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway, and then past Maywick. His eyes now dark. Some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps the same fluid that is inside you. You try not to think about it. You keep going and the sound comes back. The eye comes back. And then, as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives. Thousands who are just going to keep going until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the wheeling stars. They are spinning and you are suddenly dizzy. Though the eye has always spun like this, hasn't it? And you don't stop walking, you keep going. And that's all there is now. The path forward. East and Arpa left you no history, no past to speak of, just a void that threatens to swallow if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure it ever can be, but you are still here and you can't stop now. There has to be a better end than this. Alright. And that achievement is for a few chits more. Oh, nice. Nice Dollars trilogy reference. Alright. I have money, so I'm going to get food, inject myself with stabilizer, and then call it a day. Alright. Alright, back to my container. stabilizer is injected. And we'll end this cycle. Booyah! You awake from dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It was difficult to get to sleep, and you suspect that isn't about to change anytime soon. Not after what happened. But you also feel something else as you get up. The thumb of the power stud of the stove, and you begin to boil the water like every morning. You feel like something has lifted, something that's been hanging over you since you arrived on the station. You try not to think too hard about it, to question it. You let that lightness stay. Let it settle as you go through your routines. You hope that if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, it won't get scared and leave you. But the lightness will stay for this cycle, and then another and then another. Because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. Alright. Alright. We will unload some scrap. Alright, there's the side wheel dock. Nope. Okay, that was a negative outcome. Shit, fuck. Alright. Well, I have other stuff I want to do. Alright. Alright. Okay, instant karma for sure. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's get some more money. And you know what? Let's do one shift at the bar. Alright, that's cool. Alright, do one more of these. Booyah. 2/3 of the way there. Whatever. Just burning the die. Alright, we'll do this one here. Alright, we're gonna end this cycle. Alright. We'll use some scrap here. Let's try working to shift this bar here. Nice. Alright, let's see if I can't finish this off. No, we'll do this one. Hopefully we'll get lucky. Bingo! Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandra Cells must be proud. You quickly turn to see a figure, hooded and tucked into the shadows, near the viewing platform. Do I know you? Sadly, no, but I know you. Or at least I've seen you passing through the low end. You shouldn't rush through so much. The low end's pleasures tend to reward the wanderer. He looks around. But the platform is clear. We should be quick in our conversation. But I don't wish to unsettle you. I deal in data, and I believe you might have need of some. Castor walks out to stand beside you in the platform. A telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Haven Age shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. I was there. I know, he sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Celis are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out at the side reel. You know why they built this monstrosity on the eye? Money. That was a part, perhaps, but there are cheaper shipyards. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead, and secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto the ship as we speak. Sleeping people, locked in cryo sleep, like the person you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You are like me. You deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. When someone like you on the ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need, whenever I need it, as long as you are on board. With you on the side reel and some minor modifications, he pauses, you can be my eyes and ears. I will keep track of Stella's grand project through you. It's yours, says Castor. I can get you aboard, Sleeper. I'm going to need you to help me. What if I disagree? I doubt you will find a way onto that ship out of here. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition, of course, is that you go too. What? Castor clinks closer to the window. watching the bugs around the side wheel. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on the ship. Please consider it. He turns back silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance. As I said, there's a Celos Foundation ship tucked in the empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. That will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transfer. Castor looks over at his glasses. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Celos aren't stupid though. The ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. He smiles. I notice his importance to you. And the little one. So cute. You don't exactly extract the data before the Sidewheel Horizon leaves the hub. Then I will get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you've taken the data from Celos, you will set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to entangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You are bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around, as if to emphasize this point. There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. Am I on a time limit now? God damn it. With that, Castor... marches back off on the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving to contemplate the Sidewheel Horizon and the part it may play in your future. I don't want to be on board, though. There's so much more I want to do here. Alright, that's the instant karma. I love this. Oh, god damn it. And there's other stuff I want to do too. Like... This time you meet inside Rabia's office. Although now you've seen it, office seems like the wrong term. You find her stood in an almost bare, shadowy unit. Midway through a sequence of stretches, there are two low stools. Okay. Sorry. You find her stood in an almost bare, shadowy unit midway through a sequence of stretches. There are two low stools and a terminal in the corner, but it seems most of the space is taken up by a heavy punching bag, rubber matting, and a stack of weights. When Rabia turns to greet you, you realize she is missing an arm. The prosthetic she usually wears is set in a cradle near the terminal, a web of colored wires running to it. Updates, she says, noticing you looking at her where her artificial arm usually is. Nothing to worry yourself with. Of course. Sit, Rabia says, gesturing to the two diminutive stools. You both settle on the stools. Rabia crossing her legs on top and sitting straight backed. Gia told me you have been doing the rounds, collecting tithes, patrolling the wards. She smiles. Some of the enforcers are impressed, and I understand you handle a few difficult circumstances. Nicely done. I wanted to see for myself. She raises an eyebrow. See what for yourself, if I could trust you. I see. Rabia flexes her neck from side to side, and the conclusion? I'm still deciding. Well, Sleeper, Rabia says teasingly, please keep us updated on any progress. She smiles with a thin smile. Joking aside, I know that for you, life on the Eye has been a struggle, but I hope we can do something about that from here onwards. Though some of our members may not see it this way, I know you, too, are a refugee. She looks at you solemnly. This is why you have come to us. Oh, they're back. Enough, Rabia. Sabine's voice cuts through the conversation. I'm tired of listening to your affected nobility. They cross the room, Rabia's baton in their hand, the end lit with sparkling electricity. Rabia looks between the two of you. I suppose this ambush was another cooperation between you two? She looks strangely unfazed. I am going to stay silent. Sabine pauses, thrown off by her silence. Rabia takes this opportunity to laugh. She leaps from the stool and, fainting past Sabine, she grabs the baton and twists it inwards. She is by far stronger, and she pushes Sabine to their knees, plunging the cackling end of the baton towards their chests. They freeze there, Sabine struggling to keep the cackling baton in their skin. Hey, Boogie Bros! Welcome on in. I hope you're having a good night. Thanks for coming by. Stream has been going well, thank you. And this game also has just been a dream to play. I did not think I'd enjoy Citizen Sleeper as much as I thought I would. But here we are. They freeze theirs. Stop. Then you support them? Raya asks you, her eyes not leaving Sabine. Your loyalties are so easily swayed. I thought you were more than Yannick's attack dog, Rabia. Sabine spits back. Are you not able to think for yourself? Rabia holds the baton strong, and for a moment you think she's about to hammer it down into Sabine's chest, but after a painful wait, she throws Sabine down instead, then spins the baton in her hand, thumbing a switch and shutting it off in a single move. Now what? They both look at you, each still catching their breath, as though they'd forgotten about your presence. Rabia cracks her neck. You are lucky I didn't kill you. I would have had every right. Every right, she shouts, the anger a release of tension more than a threat. She lifts themselves a little, bruised from the fall. They roll onto their side and cough. Rabia gives them some space. Sitting back on the stool, Sabine props himself up on their elbows and fixes Rabia a hard stare. You have something to say, Rabia taunts? Say it. This is your final opportunity, because after this, no, she laughs, no coming back. What's the point? Sabine breathes heavily. She refuses to listen to to criticism of the Great Yatagan Project. Rabia collects herself. Speak. She folds her arms and waits to be convinced. Sabine takes a breath, organizing their thoughts. They go to start and then decide on another approach. Eventually they say it. Yannick is a traitor. Rabia immediately flinches, her eyes going to her prosthetic arms, her muscles clenching, but she rides it out, more than eager to prove Sabine wrong than she is to hurt them, at least for now. When I came here from SNARP, they glance at you, gauging your reaction. It was Yannick who was one of the first to support me, to look after me. I should have known then, but I was naive and afraid. Sabine turns to you. Sleeper. They take a breath. I know that I should have told you I worked for SNARP long ago, but I thought you would abandon me, and you are my final friend. What you should know is that I left SNARP because I was running for my life. I leaked documents on the Sleeper program, on the illegal and immoral practices they relied on, to the press. SNARP wanted me dead, and I fled as far as I could. To this refugee at the edge of the surrogate systems. Sabine stops to collect himself. What does this have to do with Yannick? Rabia interrupts. The Sleeper knows you are SNARP. I told them. And while you hide beneath the cover of being a whistleblower, you and I both know you worked on the Sleeper program. Yannick told me as much. Sabine's face falls. It is true. They glance at you, and then look away, ashamed. They lift their head, But it is Yannick, not me, who was in the pocket of SNARP, where Baya flinches again. If I can prove it, he made some kind of deal to keep me here, to tie me up in debt, to lock me away in exchange. Rabia slams her hand on the jacks. Just tell us, for God's sakes. In exchange for those, Sabine finishes, nodding towards Rabia's prosthetic arm in his cradle. He has been using Yannick's officers, using you as test subjects for the SNR technology. I have the data to prove it. He has been bringing them in under the guise of stolen shipments and having me fit them, knowing each one is capturing data and sending it back to its makers. Rabia's fixed expression has started to fade. Sabine produces a slate. It's all here. Thousands of hours of usage data, failure rates, error dumps. These are untested implants, Rabia. They could short out, fail, cause condescending failures across a person's body. And they have. Sabine suddenly looks incredibly tired. I thought the error rate in the units was down to them being stolen or modified. I have tried to fix hundreds of failures in my own time. Not all of them. They stop, unable to continue. Rabia closes her eyes and then breathes in. Then she opens them again. She holds out a hand to Sabine. Show me, she says. Later, much later, when you leave, Sabine is still taking Rabia through the manifests and usage data. Both of them crowded around the terminal as Sabine leads Rabia through each layer of Yannick's betrayal. As you leave, Sabine catches your eye and something passes between you. Something like a thank you, or sorry, or other expression that communicates both sadness and hope. Nice. Nothing I can... So... We're gonna meet Feng. Oh, no, wait. I need one more cycle for that. And speaking of stuff I want to do, I haven't even touched this stuff yet for episode Flux. So, what I'll do for now... Lemon? I'm not sure I understand. Alright, let's buy some stabilizers. Always nice to have. And we'll go back to our empty container. And it's... Oh, damn, that sucks. At the same place for so... Oh, that's rough. Alright. And where's the overlook bar? Alright, man. Rest well. Rest well, Spironic. I saw in the Discord that you said you had to leave for a month, so I hope whatever you gotta do goes well, man. And I hope I see you when you get back. What's Caster doing here? You cross between two walls of units. One of the carnivorous streets at the center of Lowend. The pressurized ridge is full of the clack of Tavla, the shouts of children, the whir of anti-air filters. Sleeper. You turn to see a man sitting at a tabla table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. You sit at the metal stool, and he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use in their place. Caster, he says by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps. Crudely displayed, white and black. Let's go with day. He rotates the board so the white caps are in front of you. Let's begin. You take a plastic die each, pit it in ward, and roll to determine who starts. Caster rolls a 6. You a 4. I lead. He smiles and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Caster speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That is why I wanted to play you. You take your turn, rolling a 5 and a 6. Play carefully. After all, a sleeper's mind must be somehow different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Caster talks, you build up a wall of caps, stacking them safely across the board. Progress is slow, but you remain unexposed. I didn't mean to offend you. Caster meets your eye. I merely see that you are by definition different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He slides a single cap onto an open point, a risk and an opportunity. He hands you the dice. Do you ever think about this, Sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? Always. You roll a double. 1, and solidify your wall. Caster whistles. The holding game. Commendable. It can be brave to build from what you came before. He rolls the dice and keeps your wall in a single move. And leaps your wall in a single move, I'm sorry. But we cannot idle too long, Sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we are caught. The past you is not just an idea. The past you is not just an idea. Concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks up over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They may be sleeping now, yes, but one day they will be awake and carry on with their lives unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. He hands you the dice, smiling. You are a branch severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under casters before he solidifies control of the game. So what I'm curious about is how you see yourself in all this, Caster asks. What does this tangle of truth makes you? Free. Yes, Caster looks away, through the glass, to the crowded units on all sides. I can see that. Your life in the escapee was never meant to happen, yet here you are. He starts removing caps. His home board now full. Your life is an offshoot. It can go anywhere from here. You try a few more rolls, attempting to get back in the game, but Caster clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too hard. He slides another cap in the board. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all the spaces are blocks. Caster claps his hands apologetically. You play well. Really. Your weakness is not your game. He smiles warmly. We have much to learn from each other. He slides his glasses back up his nose and sits back. I feel we could share knowledge, ideas, and perhaps even data. His eyes glint to that last words. To our mutual benefit. He slides his final cap up from the board. It is over. He has won. Please, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. He holds up his palms. My intention is only to help you endure here, and if I am able, feed my curiosities. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Had to ban a spammer. The game now over, you notice the bustle of the walkway once more. The call of the children, the deliveries, the arguments and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave, Castor nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you were sure was there. Alright, so Feng is here. Alright, let's see what objective Feng has for me. When you enter the service dock, Feng is already set up, crouched among stacks of equipment. He's leaning over a terminal, bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Haven Age is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the blinking hardware. Nice kit. Feng does a mock bow. What are we looking at? Our massive smoking gun. He raises his eyebrows. Feng beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the waste at his terminal, with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of the derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does it look like a wasteland to you? Feng shakes his head. There are hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in sealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Arden has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece through the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. Alright, we have an ad break starting in a little under a minute. I do not play during ad breaks, so enjoy the downtime of 3 minutes when it happens. I'll resume the game once we get back. Arden has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece to the shipyard for assembly out here. Machines? That's Conway's whole thing. Remote-operated machines. Drones, cutters, salvage, haulers, the full set. Maybe Hardin masked this whole thing as an effort to clean up the waste, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off of the eye. Feng looks worried. And why is Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Haven Age knows another corporation is setting up the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The wastes are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the Greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. We can't hack them? We can't from here. He turns and winks. That's why I'm going to pay them a visit. How? You forget. Haven Age come in and out of there all cycle. I should be able to get in, as long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside and I can open up nodes in their network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars. So it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of ripper worms from his pockets and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their... There's the ad break. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Alright, we are back. Alright, he pulls a handful of ripper worms out from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system they are tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We can run it just like we did the agents. Hack the nodes, I ping to locate the ports for the security system. Then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on a terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fry their perimeter system to get me past the first corner. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up a security system, a server bank? You need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. If I can't, Ben gives you a harder look. You miss a system, you wait too long. They're gonna find me. Simple as that, he claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm going to let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot the first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back if you want to see my progress. He affectionately passes the top of the screen. Got it. Don't worry, you can run rings around their protocols. I've seen it. Fang gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations, then slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't take too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing. No matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, or you can't reach me, or we run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. What? You take whatever I've managed to pull up at that point, all the data, and you slot the stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. He points to a pile of servers and terminals, hooked into the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put into it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Haven Age, Yanagan, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Hardin isn't sneaking away this time, he grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit as you make your way out of the circus stock. Time to prepare yourself. Is there anywhere else? Well, let's do it. The Greenway roils beneath you like a silt-choked river. If what Navigator said was true, then no one has accessed these networks since the collapse. The Hunter and Killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleared out the intelligence and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just that the rot has set in? The entropy of systems, reducing everything to shadows and light? You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the one open, distorted gateway on this entire rim of the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow. A river of swirling darkness. You are spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not that the green was hiding in the darkness. It is made of darkness. It is filled by this substance, the process, the swarm. Now that you are among it, you notice the swarm is exactly what it is: 1 billion individuals moving in a flow. There is no network map here, no nodes and threads, only a storm of interchangeable points, shifting configuration endlessly. Then you see them, a figure turned away, the only bright spot in the dark river. You push closer to the storm. They are facing away, at least you think so. They are so fractured, so overgrown that it is hard to tell. Even from this distance, you can see their flesh is moving, glowing. You watch, silent as they stoop and reach down. In their hands is a dark shape, and with twisted figures, they press it down into the lorn of data beneath them, pushing it through this trembling soil. Then they move away, go a little further, and repeat the process. As if they are sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster. And they quickly fade into the storm. You reach the point where they planted the object and look down. There it is, a glassy shifting polygon. Something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It's cold, but it thumps with energy. You look toward the path of the figure, but they are long gone. When you blink out of the cloud, back to the leaves, and the dap of the light of the Greenway, you hold a seed in your hand. Alright, so no objective here, it's just a place to gather scrap. Alright. That's DLC. I do. Alright. I will work the canteen. And then I will call it a day. And this game has such a great soundtrack. Alright. Wow, this is one long space station. And there's so much to do. And, wow, I kind of am feeling a little overwhelmed by all you can do here. Where is my... There's my empty container. There's my home sweet home. All right. We'll use this dice here. Oh, I can do this all right now. All right, we got it. All right, I like my odds here. What will happen here? Bingo. All right, now I don't need to do anything there. Alright, I definitely gotta do something about this. Alright, there's... Alright, that's a good day. Alright, we'll slot this Ripper Worm. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up and out of the facility. It unspools into you, releasing its data like ink in water. Sleeper, Fang's voice crackles through, moving in. Nodes, then ports. A whim of interference. Slot the worms. Timer starts now. Stay safe. The threat dissipates. You are on your own now. Alright. Then that will be what I do tomorrow. When you arrive at Lemon unit, Castor is already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Forgive me, Sleeper, but Celes is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. I don't like you tracking me. That is unfortunate, Sleeper, because that is exactly what I will be doing for the foreseeable future. Castor reaches into his pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. Data, please. Hand it over. You hand over a drive with the data, and Castor fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. He slots it into the terminal, and after some whirring, a set of 2 transparent films marked with numeric sequences are produced. 2 tickets to an uncertain future. The child will go with Lem, of course. These are yours, but first, your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. He passes you the square, and you rest it in your palm. A small, white, perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hands and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. Castor smiles. Not to worry, it has done its job. And now it is for you to yours. You look down and you see a tiny pinprick in the center of your palm. Nothing sinister. Castor puts the terminal away. That way we can keep track of you and the sidereal horizon. I didn't... Whatever you need to do. Excellent. Castor hands you the transparent films, and you see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flickering beneath the surface. Go. Give them good news. He reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half dressed in his gear. Sleeper, what brings you here? Come in. He beckons you inside. You look to the side, expect to see Castor, but the wall is empty. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Mina is with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way, and she seems to like it. You sit at the bar. What's up, Sleeper? I have some news. Out with it, then. You look around the unit. You look at Lem. He looks better, softer, more full of life. It is as if a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. You think of Mina a few units down, leaning with their children. You falter. His siren horizon? Better than this? Len starts looking at murders. You in trouble? Dead? I have Celes' ideas for us. You have? Len freezes. How? He blinks rapidly as if to wipe you from his vision. Does this mean... Yep. Lem stands and paces around the unit. We have to pack. He starts laughing. Holy shit, we have to pack. How the hell did you swing the Sleeper? A friend helped. Well, thank your friend. You show him the ID films and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay until Mina gets home. We should tell her together. Sure. The buzzer goes. That'll be her. Lem gets up and opens the door, and Mina, a bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot, she shouts. Lem picks her up. Mina, you won't believe what they bought us. You flash her the passes, and she looks confused. We are going away after all, Meanie. He lifts her up above her head. On that big, beautiful ships. Mina screams and Lem laughs. He puts Mina down and she runs over to you and hugs her legs. I love you, robot. She says quietly, only you can hear. I love you too. After a while later, you leave. You don't even think to check for Castor at the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even that little white cube is gone. So you keep walking, back through the walk low end, deep in thought, excited and scared all at once. Alright. That's the running game achievement. Alright. Alright. No. End the cycle. Alright. Alright, so there's the whole farm stacks here. A new way to earn money. Alright. Where is my axe? Alright, here we are. We've unlocked the first port. Can we unlock the second one? And we'll insert a Ripper Worm here. Alright, that's the first security layer done. Can we do anything else? Alright, let's try re-rolling. Alright. Alright, I have a good autosave. And I think this is where... And this is where I'm going to call... Gonna do one more thing. All right. And that's where I'm going to call it. I'm not going to end the day here. I'm definitely tired, but this was a good stream. First time in a while I've streamed for more than 3 hours. So we're gonna raid Ava Bear Zero because it's Tuesday and that's what you do. That's kind of what I do on Tuesdays. Because Ava is awesome. Thanks to everyone who worked, watched, etc. Y'all make this worthwhile.